Eggs, one of the most nutritious and readily available foods out there for everyone to eat. But we need to figure out why I ate my first egg in the first place. Welcome, guys. We're going to explain to you why I ate my first egg and what you can learn from it, why you should eat more eggs, brainwashing misconceptions about eggs in the media that you should not listen to, why I eat 10 eggs a day now, and also why I ran 2 miles with eggs in my hands. Which is a funny story in itself, and I actually think it's pretty inspiring. And also, if you're watching this video, you have a great attention span because you want to learn how to improve yourself, and those are pretty rare qualities nowadays. So, props to you. Now, first, when I ate my first egg, I hadn't consumed any cholesterol based foods in my life before this, which automatically meant I had lower testosterone. I had lower amounts of good cholesterol, which is called HDL, because cholesterol is the precursor to testosterone and steroid hormones. If you're a girl as well, basically, cholesterol is the single greatest thing that improves your, not the single greatest thing, but one of the things that increases your hormones, your steroid hormones, whether you're male or female. And for me specifically, testosterone is lowered because of that. Since I hadn't consumed any cholesterol based sources before. And me personally, I am Jain, and in the religion Jainism, which I am born from, because my parents are, you weren't allowed to eat eggs despite being vegetarian in their philosophy, because eggs are vegetarian, but it's not allowed in the religion. And I really didn't want to not eat eggs because my body development and growth were stunted. So I knew automatically there was no moral conflicts. I knew many eggs, including my cousins, were also eating eggs. So it kind of normalized this shift. I knew I was gonna eat eggs anyway. I just had to make the big change and see reason as to why I should eat eggs. Because as if it's such a difficult thing to transfer. And around this time, I'm doing cross country, winter track. Let me just turn on my light over there. Been doing a lot of physical activity, a lot of weightlifting. And as you can see right over here, this is a funny story in itself. This is the day I actually ate eggs. This is November 7th, 2025. What started out as a normal, like, 5 to 6 mile run, halfway, as I'm going through the Central Park, as I'm on, like, 90th Street or something. You wouldn't know if you're not from New York City, but as I'm going to the gym, and as I finish my weightlifting session to continue the other 3 miles, I have this amazing idea to eat some eggs, and I've seen a lot of videos that eggs were the one food that fulfilled nature's multivitamin, which, if you don't know, has all the vitamins, essential proteins, great for testosterone, great for your health, and it contained all the essential micronutrients for bone, cognitive, and muscle development. And I was trying to maximize my growth in terms of height and muscle, and also for just overall health in general. And I saw this as a great addition for me. And as I am doing this run halfway, and as I come back from the gym, um, going to continue the run, I see that there's a grocery store nearby, and I pick up the eggs. Now, when I pick up the eggs, I have them in my hand, and I run with them for 2 miles. And I have to be very careful to not break any of them. And thankfully, I don't. Because if I did, that would be pretty bad in itself. Like eating your first egg and you find out the package is all with broken eggs. But it did work out fine. As I went home, I checked all the eggs; they're all fine. Now, there's a reason why you should eat more eggs. These are the nutrients over here that contribute the most to your development. Now we're going to get into this in a second, but remember the nature's natural multivitamin section I was talking about? Well, here's the specifics here. It's a great source for protein, especially if you're going to the gym, and for bulks. And it's great for vitamin A, D, E, B complex, all these. Now, leucine is a very good amino acid that you need for muscle building. And these nutrients right over here, they contribute to skin, hair, neurological, and eye health. Because think about it, an egg is one thing that is. Wait, let me just turn on my light. It's the one thing that has all the nutrients to living life and to create a chick from the chicken. It has all the nutrients a human body needs. I'm not saying all of them, but certainly most of them. And what are in these eggs are nutrients that vegetarians or people that eggs are vegetarian, but if you're Jane, you can't eat eggs. People that don't eat eggs, they don't get these benefits unless if they eat external meats or other foods that do have them. But eggs are a great food to get these. Better skin, hair, neurological, and eye health. For neurological health, by the way, eggs improves your brain insanely well. Choline is a pretty big nutrient in eggs, and it helps with your cognitive support, and especially if you're in puberty or you're developing. If you're developing years, typically like since you're like a teenager or I would say near the age of 20 or below. This is extremely good even after you're 20. It depends. Honestly, anyone. This is extremely good for your brain support. Not only that, but these amino protein acids, if you're especially going to the gym and bulking as well, these are such a great food to have. I'm personally eating 10 eggs a day because of the bulk. Because you already get like 60 grams of protein. It's just super fantastic for meeting your micronutrients and achieving your fitness goals and getting a lot amount of protein, maximizing your muscle growth and not stunting your growth. Especially that's one of the great benefits of eggs. And eggs make your skin and hair, well, specifically skin, clearer, and your hair more, what's the word? Strong and fertile. I'm not sure if fertile is the correct word here, but it's definitely strong. And antioxidants, which are on itself pretty good for you. Now, if you don't eat eggs, B12 or meat, B12 is pretty hard to get if you don't eat eggs. Now, this is why, especially if you can't eat meat, this is a great way to get them, especially if you're vegetarian, but I can't speak for that. Now, for cholesterol management, eggs raise your good cholesterol. They don't raise your bad cholesterol. We're going to talk about this in a moment on how the media has convinced you, and even the government, which we're going to get into in just a moment. The FDA apparently supported this stuff that eggs raise your bad cholesterol. No, just raise cholesterol in general. Just it's a fake lie. And turns out eggs are one of the most compact and filling cholesterol foods out there. It's essential for testosterone. You literally cannot create enough testosterone if you do not have high levels of cholesterol from foods. And contributes to growth and steroid hormones, which is essential if you're in development. Essential. Now, here's the thing. Eggs only have good cholesterol, and they don't even alter your cholesterol levels that much. They don't raise your bad cholesterol, which is what you do not want. Because if you raise your bad cholesterol, then you are at risk of heart disease, clogging your arteries, all the bad stuff you heard about what eggs could do by the media, which is not true because they only raise your good cholesterol, so you're completely good in that. Now, we're going to break down eat every one by one on which micronutrients you're maximizing with eggs, depending on your goals. For me personally, it's for maximizing my development as a young person, getting muscle in the gym, and maximizing hormone production, specifically testosterone and other steroid hormones for my development. Now, here's the thing, if you're going to the gym, 60 grams of protein is honestly extremely good for 10 eggs. You can honestly eat more than 10 eggs. You don't have to eat more than 10 eggs. You don't have to eat 10 eggs, but I'm just saying it's an awesome way to bulk in the gym. Awesome. Incredibly easy. Takes like, honestly, less than 5 minutes to eat 10 eggs. It supports your muscle growth and repair. And eggs have one of the healthiest protein sources on the entire planet. That is no exaggeration. And honestly, I would prefer this over whey protein, which I am making the switch to. More eggs. Now, remember how we said cholesterol is the precursor to testosterone? Well, we get crazy amounts of it, 620% of your daily value. It's extremely important for testosterone and hormone production and steroid hormones. This doesn't just apply. Filming a video. Filming a video. Sorry. Please don't talk. I'm filming a video. Anyway, before we rudely interrupted, just joking. Yes, testosterone and cholesterol are heavily linked together. And if you have low levels of cholesterol and you did not get cholesterol before, your testosterone will be at risk. It will be certainly lower than what it should be. And coming from a person that did not eat any cholesterol animal based sources before, this is an extremely big improvement for my part. Now we're going to move on to choline, which is the thing that I said will improve your cognitive function and brain health the most. And it does. It has loads of it. 270% of your needed daily value. And this supports your brain health, liver function, and testosterone regulation. I only thought it was brain health actually until I just learned that it was liver function and testosterone regulation, which on itself is pretty good as well because after all, and the egg is contains all the essential nutrients to produce life, to sustain life, to produce a baby. And since eggs have that, it's only natural that they have brain health, that they regulate someone's testosterone. And we're moving on to vitamin B12, which really you can only get from animal sources. And it's extremely critical for neurological health and cellular function, specifically red blood cells. Which I forgot to add also aids in cognitive development and neurological development alongside choline. Now, vitamin D is something that we almost humans don't get. And this is a special type of vitamin D, not the IU type of vitamin D that you usually get from sunlight or supplements. But these support bone health, immunity, and hormone function. And this is extremely important if you're in development. Now, unfortunately, you're gonna have to get most of your other vitamin D from other sources, but eggs provide a good needed amount for that. Now, moving on to vitamin A. This I said before, skin, hair. We already covered neurological, but eye health, the eyes. It's vitamin A is a pretty good supplement booster for that, and eggs provide a huge portion of that. 89%. That's pretty high. Now, if you don't know what selenium is, it is absolutely crucial for testosterone, male fertility. It's also extremely good for that, but also antioxidant and thyroid support. Now, you get a bunch of it from eggs, but you could also get it from Brazil nuts, which I also made a video on. But if you're getting low amounts of eggs, you can also eat Brazil nuts to make up for that if you do want a good testosterone boost. But these benefits right over here, these things that are linked in red. Also, please eat it with a yolk. Don't eat egg whites. Because yolk is the most nutritious part of the egg. It's just a no brainer. You need, like, it is absolutely essential that you get these nutrients if you're not eating eggs. Alongside Brazil nut for selenium, if you're not getting it from other sources. Because not only will your steroid hormones tank, especially if you're a guy, excluding selenium, of course, if you're a girl, but it will tank your steroid hormones. It will make you have a decreased mood, and overall, it will not support your development in any of the slightest. And it will stunt it if you don't get these essential macronutrients. Now, moving on, phosphorus is extremely good in bone health and energy production, which energy production is also linked to testosterone, and bone health is also critical for development, especially height development and just overall dragging more calcium to your bones, which eggs help tremendously and is absolutely critical for someone that is developing extremely young like me. Now we're moving on to zinc. Now zinc doesn't actually have huge traces of it in eggs, but it does. 10 eggs do provide a pretty good chunk of what you typically need, and you should be getting 30 grams to no, 15 to 30 grams mg of zinc. Now, another good food to replace this is certainly pumpkin seeds, but if you eat like more than 10 eggs, you'll probably reach this and you don't even need to. But I'm just saying that for me personally, I eat pumpkin seeds to fit in these macronutrients because zinc is quite low in there, but eggs do contain them. Because zinc is extremely essential for testosterone, hormone, and strength. Hormones and your strength. It's extremely crucial. You need to get these. And all the things here zinc, selenium, vitamin D, choline, cholesterol, and protein. These are all things that are directly related to testosterone and your growth. And you cannot just eat egg whites for these, you have to eat with the yolk, as I said before. On to the next slide. Here's some brainwashing misconceptions about eggs in the media. There are truly a lot of them. When I first started saying I was going to eat eggs, everyone around me freaked out and said I shouldn't and it's not worth it. Turns out that's actually a huge lie. The media, even the government, and ads have all said that eggs are extremely bad for you given their high cholesterol, as which is one of the most common excuses. They typically say that eggs will clog your arteries, eggs will give you a heart disease, it'll give you a heart attack if you eat too many. That is not the case in the slightest. Our parents, if you're Gen Z, our parents believed the government and media and doctors that eggs were not healthy because of their cholesterol. But it turns out that minimizing eggs to cholesterol and having high fat. By the way, fats are essential for us. And eggs contain little carbs at all. It's not even true that the media said that. at least when I was doing research for this video. But eggs do contain a lot of saturated fats the body absolutely needs for testosterone support, for your body support, for your health support. And cholesterol is absolutely essential for you. The good type of cholesterol, not the bad one. And when the media or social media minimizes eggs to be these little traces like fat, cholesterol, bad stuff, when the average person probably doesn't know much about health, let's be honest here. They probably think, oh, fat, that's not good. That'll make me get fat. When in reality, it's good types of fat that will make you healthier. And when they read cholesterol, they've been told by the government that cholesterol will make them get a heart attack, and that is true if you have bad cholesterol. Eggs only give you good cholesterol. They don't even alter your cholesterol levels that much, just barely, if you eat a lot of eggs. And it just gets quick clicks, and our parents believed it, and now it passed on to our children, which is us, if you are Gen Z, which is exactly why eggs are trashed on in the media. And it's only recently that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration of the United States, has been apologizing because for decades they have said that eggs are unhealthy until they had to label them as healthy because they are so nutrient dense. They have loads of macronutrients. Look at this. Nature's natural multivitamin. Like, can you imagine a superfood that's called nature's natural multivitamin? I just made that up, by the way, but it is true. I have started referring eggs as that because of such their tremendous nutritious value. But the FDA finally had to agree because pharmaceutical companies, the government, well, has influenced the government to say this and pump out these messages in an effort to get more profit on their products. And because in the 60s, people were getting obese, and these companies had to put a blame on something easy and understandable to the average person to fool them into believing that that is the cause. And eggs were that. Unfortunately, people bought into the myth that high cholesterol is bad for you when eggs only give you the good type of high cholesterol. And it doesn't significantly alter your cholesterol levels as well, at all, which is what I said before. And in healthy individuals that don't have any cholesterol related diseases, eggs will not give you a heart disease. What a lie. Eggs will clog your arteries. Eggs have too much cholesterol. You might die from eating a few of them. What I mean by a few, I mean like 2 or 3 or 5. Not at all. Not at all. I hope you learned something from this video. Eating an egg raw. Oh yeah. Yeah, they taste like nothing. On a completely separate note, I was expecting eggs to be very sweet, especially from the yolk, but when I tasted my first egg, it was pretty bland and it was pretty surprising. It was very jelly like, and I would say it's pretty depressing compared to what I would expect. But eggs are one of the most nutrient dense foods, and they have high levels of good cholesterol for testosterone, growth, health, protein, and for the gym, and a lot of amino acids, great benefits for skin, eyes, hair, neurological. It's truly endless, and I'm eternally grateful I had the opportunity to eat eggs and to spread on the message to you guys on why you should be eating some more. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video.